Today we're going to be doing a emerald peel plus the microdermabrasion. The first thing I did is I checked with my client the concerns of her skin. The concerns are, of course, she has hyperpigmentation and enlarged pores. So we're going to, and also some sensitivities. Now the chemical peel that we're using today has great anti-inflammatories, which will really help calm the skin. And the microdermabrasion as well will increase circulation. Okay, so the first thing I did was I cleansed the skin with a daily gentle cleanser. The foaming cleanser thoroughly degreases and defats the skin so that you can remove all dirt and debris from the follicle. If your client is wearing eye and lip makeup, please cleanse the eye and lips. If your client is not wearing eye and lip makeup, I still want you to cleanse the eye and lips because they could have oil, they could have from the environment, pollution. So we want to make sure that we're always cleansing the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and cleanse the eye and lip. And then we'll do our second cleanse with the daily gentle cleanser. Remember to use a foaming cleanser so that we do not leave any oil on the skin. So we go ahead and cleanse the eye and lip. And we'll do our second cleanse with the daily gentle cleanser. You want the skin to be as dry as possible so that the client gets a very good peeling. You want to remind your client that for 7 days not to exfoliate the skin, not to be in the sun, to wear her sunscreen, not to use any retinols or retin A products, any exfoliants, whether it be AHAs or BHAs, or any over-the-counter retinols, because the skin has exfoliated and we want time for the skin to heal. This is something that my client could do once a month in a series for optimal results. So we're going to remove the second cleanse. And then we're going to occlude the mucous membranes because we don't ever want to get peel on or in the nose, mouth, or eyes. If your client has a scab on the face or a mole, go ahead and include that with Vaseline as well. If there are a lot of scabs on the face, then this service would be a contraindication. Now, she does have some reds and some sensitivities on her skin, but I'm not concerned because I know that the peel has a lot of anti-inflammatories in it, and the microdermabrasion, the end point is erythema, but it really does force the skin to heal and give it a nice even texture. So this client is something she could have once a month. So I like to blot the skin to make sure it's dry. You can degrease the skin with alcohol or with my clarifying toner that has witch hazel. Or I do have in my skincare line, I have my peel prepping solution. So those are the two that I recommend. We're going to use the clarifying toner to further degrease the skin. And we're going to take a 2x2 or a 4x4 gauze and go ahead, and we want to get all the oil, dirt and debris out of the follicle. That's the most important thing. So what I like to do is with an AHA peel, I kind of take it in my quadrants and really degrease that skin thoroughly. So that she gets a really nice deep peel. So when I do the Vaseline or petroleum jelly, I take a spatula and I just remove. You don't need a lot. Sometimes I see a lot of estheticians putting too much on. The idea is just to occlude the area. So I'm going to apply some directly on the lips. It's also to remind you not to go directly on the lips. And then I always take a new Q-tip, and then I'll take a new Q-tip and I'll put around the nostrils. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply some just to the corners of the eyes. So that, because sometimes when clients have a peel, they can tear up. And the peel can, when they tear, can irritate the skin. So I just put it on kind of like an eyeliner on the corners of the eyes. The other thing that I have for the client is I have a fan, which I'm going to apply because that'll really help with the sort of the tingling. I always like to allow my client to know what she's going to experience with the emerald peel. It's a 28% peel. And it has mandelic, azelaic, and lactic acid in it. I'm going to include the face and neck with this peel, and I'm going to leave it on 1 minute. Now, I'm going to ask my client 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, what is the sensation? And my end point with this peel, of course, is erythema because it is an alpha hydroxy acid. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it to the skin. Also, if they have tattooed eyebrows, I would suggest just putting some Vaseline on the eyebrow to occlude it as well. So I'm going to massage this in with my glycolic Q-tip. And I include the neck as well. And I'm going to ask my client, 1 being the least, 10 being the most, what is your sensation? About a 3. A 3. So a 3 is fine. If she gets to a 5 or a 6, I may consider removing it immediately. I never want the sensation to go past a 6. My end point with this peel is erythema, like I said, because it is an AHA. So it's going to dissolve the desmosomes or the glue that hold the cells together. So I'm going to always stay with my client. I'm never going to leave the treatment room because the client could jump up, rub her eyes, rub her face, and we never want her to do that. So the only thing I'm doing is I'm watching her skin and I'm watching it for any redness or erythema, or if there's a hot spot, like a histamine reaction. If she has a hot spot in a certain area of her face, then I could go ahead and neutralize that area. How am I going to neutralize? I have a bowl of cool water with ice cubes in the water, and I'm going to take my 4x4 aesthetic wipes and I'm going to neutralize. I never put ice directly on the face because that could burn the skin. So what number are you up to now?
It's going down.
Okay, so that's interesting. It's going down because it peaks. The pH of the skin is a 4.5 to 5.5, usually around a 5. And the pH of the peel is, this peel is 2.8. So we drop the pH of the skin, but as it stays on the skin, the sensation should plateau, and then the sensation should decrease as the skin is neutralizing the peel. So, what number are you at now?
2.
2. Okay, so we've got another 30 seconds. I recommend for students that you only leave this peel on the skin for 1 minute. When your clients come back for further visits, you could always increase it up to 3 minutes. But remember, when you see erythema or they're at a 6, it's fine. It's done its job. You never want to have a problem. You always want to have control. So I'm going to tell my client I'm now going to neutralize the peel. And I'm going to use 4x4 disposable aesthetic wipes dipped in cool water, and I have some ice cubes in the water. And what I'm going to do is cold compresses. Now, cold water on the face is not nice as far as the sensation, so I always allow my client to know what she's going to feel. So you're going to feel coolness on your face, and I'm now going to neutralize the peel. Always tell your client what she's going to experience. So I'm going to, and now you remember, it can take 1 minute to apply the peel, left on the skin for a minute. It can take 15 to 30 minutes to neutralize a peel. You want the client to be at a 0. And remember, you cannot feel what the client feels. And what does House say? Every patient lies. So we want to make sure that we are watching the tissue response. We're making sure our client is comfortable, and we're going to continue to neutralize. You notice that I am pressing, I'm doing compresses. I'm not going to rub on the skin because that'll further irritate the skin. So once I have finished neutralizing, and there may be one area of the face where the skin is thinner, like the forehead or the neck area, that may be more active and more itchy. I always say a glycolic and AHAs feel like spiders, and lactic acid feels like hundreds of spiders on the face. So are you still feeling a sensation?
Just on my upper lip.
On the upper lip. So what I'm going to do with one aesthetic wipe, which I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and leave that on there for a minute while I neutralize the other areas. Because even though she's told me it's just on the upper lip, do I believe her? No. So I don't tell her that, but just having cold water on the face is not comfortable, you know, but I want to make sure that it's completely neutralized. And the other thing you can do while the peel is on the skin, which I love, is you can always have a fan present where the client can hold the fan, and you can use that while the peel is on the skin to really help with the sensation. When clients are used to peels, then it's not a problem, but your first time client has to be aware of the psychological aspects of getting a peel, and the benefits outweigh the risks, but they also need to know the contraindications, and they need to know the aftercare as well, and they need to know how to take care of their skin after the peel. A Mandelic serum is great before and after peels to help prep the skin at home. So are we feeling any sensation anywhere?
Just a little bit on my upper lip still.
Okay, so we're still on the upper lip, and that's fine. Take your time. You know, peels are corrosive, and so they will keep on going, and the water will reactivate the peel. The other thing we're going to do once I have finished neutralizing the peel is I'm going to blot the skin, because I'm now going to perform microdermabrasion. And I don't want water to go into the microdermabrasion machine. So I want to make sure that my skin is dry. And so I'll go, once I've neutralized the peel, I will blot the skin, and then I'll start the microdermabrasion process. We're going to do 2 passes with the microdermabrasion. Remember, you don't have to do 2 passes. If the skin is sensitized, sensitive, thin, you could always do 1 pass with the crystal microdermabrasion. Are you still feeling a sensation on the nose?
No, it's gone.
It's gone. Okay, so she said it's gone, but remember what I said, we don't believe anybody. So we're going to go ahead and do 1 more pass of the neutralizing. And remember, I put ice in the water, but never on the skin. Some people put baking soda in the water to get the water's pH up to a 9, an 8 or 9. I have never found that necessary. Water is a pH of 7, which does a nice job of neutralizing the water, but you've got to take your time, because the peel is active and the peel is corrosive. And you remember, you want as much control as possible. When the client leaves your treatment table and goes home, then you have lost control. So you want to remind your client not to take steam showers, putting steam or heat on the face, not to pick the skin, to wear SPF, to use calming products like the vitamin C serum and the Power Rescue for 48 hours. She can wear makeup as long as she's wearing mineral makeup, otherwise to wait 48 hours. And no waxing or exfoliating on the skin, or Retin-A, vitamin A products, or AHA, BHAs for 7 days, because we've exfoliated, we've done it for her. So now we're going to go ahead and start the microdermabrasion. Anytime you feel like your headband is getting loose and untidy, you can go ahead and stop what you're doing and set that up. And of course, always sanitize your hands when you are touching things. Okay, so I'm going to do the crystal microdermabrasion. I'm going to try and keep the gorge, the vacuum and the crystals at 10 or under with the machine. Of course, always have the machine plugged in. My daughter will edit that out, I hope. Okay, I'm going to toggle my crystals and to get a nice flow here. I'm going to go ahead and do a patch test on her forehead by the glabella to see if that's comfortable for her. Is that comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell her it feels like a cat scratching your face. And I'm looking for erythema and crystals as my endpoint. And you can divide the face in half. So I can go ahead and divide the forehead in half. And I'm going to do a cross patch. And you'll notice that I'm holding the hand piece like a magic marker. And I'm going to make sure that I do not leave any live tissue between my passes because I don't want to create tiger stripes on the skin. And I'm just holding the skin taut. She's got a nice, tight, firm skin. And remember, you can go on the eyebrow itself, provided there isn't any tattoos on the brows, and move the head. So now I'm going to go ahead and support and do my crosshatch one way or the other. I'm going to get you, I'm going to find you, making sure I'm slightly overlapping. That's the important part. I'm going to support, do my cross, and look how I'm holding the skin taut, and then I'm doing my passes. And I like to do my two passes at once because it's just easier for me to do that. If you have areas of the face that's a little bit more sensitive, you can always turn down the crystal flow so that the suction isn't as high. Okay, folding your lips, please. Get the clients to be interactive with you. It just helps. We never go on the lip itself. You may relax. I like to plump up that nasolabial fold area. And then with the neck, I ask the client to lift the neck. I press down below the clavicle, and I just do one pass on the neck because there isn't that much sebaceous activity on the neck. You can always press this face to the side so you can get to the side of the neck. And again, I'm going to turn it down for the nose area. And we're going to go down the nose and the cheek area where it's slightly red. And always stay on the orbital rim. Don't go on the eyelid that the skin is too thin, so stay on that orbital. Then down the nose, they can always breathe out of one nostril. Okay, so then to remove the crystals, you could just use your water, or you could do a quick cleanse with your daily gentle cleanser to pick up the crystals. At this point of the facial, once you've removed the crystals, you're going to do extractions if needed, tone, apply a mask, and massage the arms and the décolleté. So we don't use steam or steam towels during these facials because we are already creating heat in the tissue. We do not need to create any more heat in the tissue. So at this point, we remove the crystals, and then we'll go ahead and start the extractions if needed, tone, mask, massage the décolleté and the hands, remove the mask, and make sure you tell your client about the post-care, staying out of the sun, not picking at the skin, using sunscreen, not having hot showers, staying off any exfoliants for 7 days, do not wax the area. And you want to make sure that they understand thoroughly. Also, perfume has alcohol in it, and fragrances will also irritate the skin. So we never want them to spray their perfume on or near their face, neck, or décolleté and to create hot spots. So it's very important to tell your clients the pre and post care and what to expect. And remember, with this peel, students, leaving it on the skin for 1 minute is exactly what you need to do because you need to learn the tissue response.